report. Now, we're going to go over to Ulaanbaatar, where the 11th ASEM Summit has kicked off in the Mongolian capital. Understandably, Asian and European leaders are also in shock over the atrocity in Nice, which prompted the French president, as Ho-jun just mentioned, to leave immediately. President Park Geun-hye delivered her message to the 51 member nations this morning. For the details, we're now going to connect to our presidential office correspondent, Song Ji-son, who is travelling with the president. Ji-son, a somber start to the summit.
That's right, Mark. President Park Geun-hye began her speech by expressing her deepest condolences to victims and their families in Nice, stressing that terror attacks cannot be tolerated under any circumstances. As the first speaker at the first session, President Park noted the challenges facing the world, like extreme violence, terror threats, and climate change. She said the ASEM group must take a lead role in global cooperation and form a deeper transnational partnership. In particular, she underscored the need to use ASEM as a platform to enhance economic cooperation. Despite the rising trade of trade protectionism, President Park stressed that ASEM must lead open trade, giving greater room for growth for developing nations, which also narrows the economic gap between nations. President Park also suggested holding an ASEM financial ministers meeting in Korea next year for concrete discussions on how innovation and creativity can foster growth. She wrapped up by noting the need to improve and upgrade the sessions in a more interactive and efficient way. Mark?
And Ji-son, President Park has a very busy day lined up. She's going to be holding bilateral talks on the sidelines of the summit as well.
That is correct. President Park took some time for one-on-one talks during and between the sessions, as 3 bilateral summits are in her itinerary today. President Park first sat down with Laos Prime Minister Thongloun Sisoulith, followed by talks with Vietnamese Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc. Meeting with those leaders for the first time as they both took office in April this year, President Park asked for their cooperation to strengthen bilateral partnerships while asking for their support for administration's North Korea policies. In just a few minutes, the South Korean leader will also speak with European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker and European Council President Donald Tusk. President Park wants to reinforce Seoul's strategic partnership with the European Union at this first meeting following Britain's vote last month to exit the bloc. I'll be back with the latest from the ASEM Summit throughout the day. Back to you in Seoul.